Hey guys, Lunar Fox Games here with my second devlog for Project Rise. And I'm going to be trying a different editing format this time. So be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this format. I'm going to basically do instead of one continuous video that I record after I make all the progress, I'm sort of going to be doing it in phases. So as you can see right now, it's Monday. And I'm gonna just work on implementing features one at a time and giving short progress updates in this video. So first thing I want to try to tackle is room transitions. So obviously, if we have just one massive continuous room, then the performance will take a hit and it will be just a lot more confusing to navigate the game. So I'm thinking that starting to implement some sort of room transition system would make things a lot better. So I'm going to first start by constructing a few things, and I'll be back. So here we are after we constructed this little sample scene. This ladder right here, I guess I should do this, right here, is just how we're going to go down into the transition. So I'm picturing that you just touch it, maybe press a key or something, and you just transition. But the problem is, our player is kind of a chunky boy compared to the rest of the scene. Like, he's a little bit over one tile wide. Actually, I think right here is the magic pixel where you should be able to fall through. Yeah, our player is exactly one tile wide. And what that means is, in a normal gameplay scenario, like, let's just scoot the player right here. We're not landing in that hole. So here comes the big question. There's two ways that we can tackle this. The first way is we shrink our player's collider a little bit. Like, we can just do like this, and that'll solve the problem. Because we'll be skinnier. That would actually be a lot easier to fall in the hole. Like, I got it first try. Or instead of doing that, in favor of keeping it pixel perfect, we could just make it so every occurrence in the game where it would be a one block gap right here, we just replace this with some other workaround. Like, we just basically ignore having a one block gap in the game. So I think we just, for now, avoid one wide tile sections. And we're gonna have our ladder. Let's have this, it's just yellow so we can actually see where it is. So this only shows up in the editor that it says ladder. I'm gonna make this a trigger because we don't actually want to collide with the ladder. And let's make it kind of tall. And we don't want to accidentally be hitting it, so let's do that. You know what? We could just add a box collider right here, but I kind of want to keep it all in one object. So let's do this. Yeah, I like the look of that. And just erase that, put it in the foreground. At least for this part. And we keep the top of it in the background. That way, in-game, you're able to, like, walk over it as you should be able to, but it still looks perfectly fine. Like, this is a solid collision, so nothing will go wrong there. Okay, now let's, we already got the trigger here. And honestly, you know what? I'm just gonna redo that collider. That is perfectly fine. Not complaining at all with that. It makes it way easier to just have 1x1 sizing whenever you can, instead of needlessly changing it, because we'll never be down here. So just having this perfectly fine. Okay, I'll be back once I start adding in some code. So here I am. I finally got the first part about the transition done. So let me just show this off real quick. I made it so you can choose if it requires a keyboard input or not. So for this ladder, you see you can walk over fine, but if you press down, it took a minute, but it did our transition. And then for this one, since it's going up, we just press up and it transitions. And this works pretty well. But as you can see, we don't end up where we want to. Obviously, if we go up the ladder, we want to end up here. Now, obviously, we want to end up here. If we go down the ladder. So, I'll be working on that next. So here we are quite a bit later. And I got quite a bit done in that time. So I made it so there's this transition and it actually takes you where you want to be. You can go up and here I am. And as we can see, that's not just where we spawn. The transition has coordinates where it loads. So it just does that. So it doesn't spawn us in the default. And the transition, the animation was also pretty easy. So what I do is I have, let's see. I think this is how we see it. Yeah. So I just have it so we have a panel. And we just change the opacity. If you look right here, that white bar at the bottom, that's opacity. We just change that. And same right, it's kind of a hassle navigating prefabs. But same here, we just have it in reverse. And we play that whenever we load a scene or do a transition. So yeah, we can go up and down the ladder. And it has a pretty nice transition. Getting this implemented pretty early will be very good for the future of the game, because it will actually make development easier, because it will load quicker for people. And it will just help with being a lot more organized. Especially with being able to do different vertical checks super easily. That's pretty nice. And then I guess an unintended bug is here I am right now. I just entered. I'm pressing up right now, but it's not doing it. But it does it if we move in and out of it. And I think I'm going to keep that bug so you don't accidentally, transition instantly again. And it's still consistent for when you enter. Like I can land directly on it and do it. So the problem isn't consistency at all. In fact, I think we can dash into it. Might take a minute. It's not worth checking. It's something super minor. But yeah, that's all for this devlog. Let me know what you think about this style of video. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more devlogs like this. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.